right, y'all. I am very excited to welcome Mike Woolf to our stage today. He started his career as a copywriter at GSD&M. Want to get away? That was him. That was him. He founded Beef and Pie after that, became a pillar in our local video production scene. Beef and Pie does commercials, brand videos, and a ton of disposable social content. Everybody give a big hand to welcome Mike Woolf to our Creative Morning stage.
Oh man, thanks. Thanks, Brian. Pillar, living legend. That's what I heard. All right, thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming out. Thanks so much for the mama birds. That was beautiful. What a nice way to start the morning. That was great. And thanks to Brian and Ben, who's not here today. Shout out to Ben. And everyone on the Creative Mornings crew, because it's just awesome what they pull off and what they've been doing for the last 10 years, which is great. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for this topic. I have been coming to these on and off for the last 10 years, and there have been some grisly prison, what are some of the matriculation? Some of these topics are tough. Morality, shame, death, taxes, moist. These are all actual Creative Morning topics. But no, man, today's treasure's awesome. Treasure's really fun. Let's get into it. Let's see how this works. So, because whatever form, hold on here a sec, let's get in here. Whatever form treasure takes, doesn't matter what it is, it's freaking awesome. And it's a great thing, because there's the journey of actually finding it. You have to find it. You have to beat a CGI dragon. You have to overcome rubber snakes. You have to power through some really serious overacting. But then, you get it. Mel Fisher, man. You get it. And there's no question. Oh, wait, look, props. I've got a treasure box here that, because the best part about this treasure is that, to Greg, don't give it back. No chance. Are y'all ready? I need some hands in the air. Protect yourself, because treasure is, we got all kinds of these. Throw those out there. We're gonna go deep. There. Treasure is, this is awesome. They're in, they're diving. Hit the deck. Oh, Christ. I'm throwing them like my kid. All right. Use the mic. Yes, Brian, I'll use the mic. All right, great. What's next? Oh, okay. So treasure. Treasure's awesome. I found a treasure map here in Austin. It's been there for a long time. It's been there for about 50 years. It's easy to find. It's on the Google Maps. This map, if you call it a map, it's the hardest thing you have to overcome to get to this treasure map is on-street parking. It's a really difficult. It's a difficult area, 23rd and Guadalupe. And what I'm talking about is this is Austin's very first mural, very first one, the 23rd Street Mural, also known as the Ostentatious Mural, painted 50 years ago. Let's see, show of hands. How many people have seen this before? Walked by it, know what it is? Half? That's not bad. And who has never seen this before? First time you ever, here, treasure, here. It's cool. Well, cool. Then you're gonna be in. I think you're gonna enjoy this little map. So the thing with this is, it's been there for 50 years. You get up close to it, and let's just take a quick little look at it. And there's some things that you can sort of quickly start figuring out. Even I know. I'm like, okay, that's Stephen F. Austin. Cool. Our city's named after him. He's got armadillos in his hands instead of a musket. Sure, that makes sense. It's Austin. Oh, down here I see Willie Nelson. Blue eyes, crying in the rain. Okay, it's coming. There's Stevie, broken spoke. There's a lot of stuff I know. But then, is that a bong and a bongo? And it's like, are those peyote buds? hiding in the cactus? Like, what's going on with these hippie hieroglyphics? I don't know. So I'm intrigued. I'm curious. I'm like, what is this? And then a few years ago, I had the chance. These are the original artists who painted the mural. That is Tommy B, Rick Turner, and Carry On. And I was down there. I was to score some weed. I was down there to meet Carrie. I was there. That's not true. I was down there to meet Carrie to pay him for some posters that he had done, and because he does these awesome posters from back in the day. And as we're sitting there, I'm like, I'm just doing what you do in front of this thing. I'm like, who's that? Oh, Rocky Erickson. Who's that? Oh, that's Doug Somm. Is that Crazy Carl? Yeah. And I start getting this feeling. Oh, and I'm like, yeah, who's this? I'm like, this is the smile guy. This is the smile guy. Oh, the smile guy. He just would stand there out on the street and yell, smile, smile, smile. How long did that go on? Oh, years. God, it was terrible. Why's Gordo's on there? And Carrie's like, the guy gave me $100. He's trying to impress his girlfriend. I don't know, gave me $100, put him up there. Cool. So I start realizing as I'm listening to these stories from these guys that I'm like, oh, I'm getting that tingly feeling. Like, this is it. This is our next documentary. What could go wrong? Which is where we have to pause just for 1 second, because so many things can go wrong. And little side note is that at Beef and Pie, we've been making documentaries for the last long time, 20 years. And about all kinds of subjects. We've made a bunch of short documentaries, made an epic feature, plays at South by Southwest, all of them, premieres, red carpet, champagne toasts, just as all the accolades you could ever want. And the one thing we learned is that no matter what the documentary is, we can guarantee you're not going to make any money doing it. This is a proven model. This holds water. So and I say this. I had to say this to myself and to my team, and then also to any aspiring filmmaker, that if you're going to go into this and make something like this, you got to have two things lined up. You got to have passion for the subject, and you have to be able to tell it in your own voice. The passion is going to push you through the stupid amount of hard work you've set up to make, and you have to get some creative satisfaction out of this thing, because you're not going to make any treasure. Now they're just cowering. Here's a soft one. There you go. There you go. Oh man, you can't have it, Greg. Okay. So these are the things that have to be in place before you do it. So, okay, here's the full mural. So, standing in front of it, will you choose wisely? Will you choose poorly? Kind of situation. I have to think about it, and we talk about it. Does this subject have passion? Do we have passion for the subject? And without question, it's all about Austin. I have a lot of passion for Austin, a lot of passion for the city. Been here for a really long time. Owe my family and my career, all of the stuff to the city. And also, this is a way to give back a little bit. Passion's there. And then passion for these guys. This is also, and you'll see him in a little bit, Michael Kleiman on the left. Love these guys. They were really doing this special thing. They're living their own life, making the city what it is. They're entertaining, and also they're getting up there. They're getting up there, and they've lived a very fun life. Extremely fun life. Drugs. I'm just talking about drugs. They're just they've had a blast. They've had a blast. The window's closed. I mean, it's just, let's be realistic. The window's closing these guys, and I see the opportunity to interview them and get them on tape and film before, so we don't lose these stories forever. And then, okay, so there's the passion. The passion is definitely there, and then telling it in our own voice. That's pretty easy on this, because just the nature of the mural and the things that are depicted there and the stories we're telling, we're going to get the stories that we like to tell. Underground comics, psychedelic rock and roll, mescaline. We invented mescaline. Austin. We created mescaline. Right at UT. Hook 'em. Yeah, let's be proud. So the stories are there. And then the last part is that over the years in making all these things, like when you make a documentary, you spend a lot of energy and effort trying to get you all to come to the screening. I mean, everyone knows this, Mama Birds. Like, it's hard, you gotta get people to come to the show. It's hard. Is there a way, we can bring it to you? Okay, so now it's like, all right, sort of, well, let's go. So, and in some ways, this sort of feels like a laptop screen or something to me. Why don't we create a website? This is where we end up doing it. And so why don't we create a website, be a little interactive, that people can go to at any point that they want to explore, watch whatever they want to watch, get lost in it. And that's kind of the idea. And that's what we did. I said that's what we did. That just sort of shrunk about 7 years of work. And that's what we did. 7 years right there. So here we're at 23rdstreetmural.com. This is how it loads. Ooh, quick thank yous to the Graphics Standard is a local web development team that built this. They designed it, they built it, they engineered it, the whole thing. Shane and Gray and John and Shelby are awesome in Austin. Landon Peterson, our editor, edited all of the films that are in here. Michelle Crosby, who's over here, produced everything, made sure everything happened. You can go ahead, you can go. Yeah, there we go. Kept the wine flowing for all of us. Let's watch the teaser. This is the intro. Give you an idea.
The ostentatious mural is our souvenir postcard that we've painted as our gift to the city of Austin.
That's what I was trying to say. Carrie and Tom and Rick created the first indigenous public art display that Austin ever had.
That area of Austin, right there on the Dragon, right there at 23rd Street, was constant street theater.
Austin has always been filled with characters of all types.
The people on the mural are icons to Austin.
It's covering the bases as far as Austin goes. Hell, you got Doug Somm up there.
Big Ricky, the Guacamole Queen.
Jim Franklin.
Johnny Winter.
Bicycle Annie.
Oh gosh, Bicycle Annie. The mural was more than just a piece of art. It was capturing an era. The mural was a mirror of what was actually happening at the time.
I would say the mural could be a time capsule.
The stoned Rosetta.
Austin didn't just happen out of nowhere. How it is today has a history.
This does give people a chance to step into the mirror, and with some depth.
It was a special time in music, it was a special time in art, it was a special time of living together, and it's always going to live through the representation of the mural.
Yeah, nice. Thanks. So let's see, let's close that one just so you can see it a little bit, and just give a quick thing, and then close that, or explore mural. There's a lot of ways, it's all UX, right, baby? Okay, so here's what we've got. So this is the actual site. And all of those are different, all the little play buttons are 10 little movies. So we made 10 short films that are built into the movie. Each one is about a character on there. And then those little stars are just stories that we wrote about the different characters or the places in there. And let's go back to the deck and we'll watch one. We'll watch one of these. I think it's appropriate. It's about 45 minutes long.
Salvation Sandwiches was started by my dearly departed brother Roland Denoy, who was a legend in his own time in this town. Peanut butter, banana, and honey was like 27 cents. Ham and jalapeno cheddar cheese was $1.20. Homemade every day, and I was both an elf and an urchin. You know, the elves worked in the bakery, the urchins worked on the street. I was one of the few who did both. Because of Roland Denoy, there was vending. Roland was an ex-law student who never took the bar, but he graduated. But he liked selling sandwiches. And the University of Texas tried to keep us from selling sandwiches. That's how straight the city was then, how regressive it was in terms of the power structure that was here and ran things. And in fact, we got locked up, I got locked up, he got locked up, Crazy Carl got locked up. You know, they're locking us up for selling sandwiches. My 15 seconds of fame, front page, took 5 of them to carry me. They got scared because I told them they can't move me. They said, why? I said, because you're not going to be able to move me. I got arrested twice for selling sandwiches. The first time, there was a criminal complaint. So we had to file a brief saying the regents are appointed. They're not elected. Only elected representatives can make law. So we file that brief. Guess what happens? They drop the criminal charges. Meanwhile, I'm still selling sandwiches. They come back out and arrest me civilly for irreparable economic damage to the University of Texas, the richest public university in the world. I irreparably harmed them by selling my 32-cent peanut butter, banana, and honey sandwiches. And this is the truth. There would be no vending in the streets if it wasn't for Roland Denoy and taking them to court.
Oh, ye of little faith, know that by united action you can win and hold as much freedom as you can absorb, limited only by your personal development. Flying out of freedom while you still have will. Roland Denoy. Yeah. 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 Right? Thanks. I mean, that's what's so, I mean, think about it. In a town where you start a food truck, I mean, look where we are. You start a food truck and it goes to a brick and mortar, it becomes a national chain. Talk about like that's a proven model in the city now, right? Okay, well, who do we have to thank for that? These guys fighting for their Sprout sandwiches on the streets of Guadalupe. Let's see what else we got. All right, let me just, so there's a handful of other little nuggets that we found in here. Real quick, this is Oat Willie. You might be familiar with Oat Willie Head Shop. Okay, so why is Oat Willie so important to our city and the history of our city? Is so he started as a comic book character that Gilbert Shelton drew. Gilbert Shelton, very famous comic book artist who created the fabulous Freak Brothers, and then went to San Francisco with a group of Austinites and started the Free Press, the underground press. So R. Crumb, like this all comes from right there on the drag. So he creates, this is one of the characters is Oat Willie, that they run for governor in the 1968 governor's race for Texas. Hence, that's why they would all hang out at Oat Willie's, and they called it Oat Willie's campaign headquarters, smoke out and figure out ways to promote Oat Willie's run for governor. He wins the governorship. I don't know if you guys know this. Served for 4 years. No, didn't do that. Jesus. No, he obviously he lost, but devastating loss. But 2 people voted for him. Because all the hippies, I don't think they even showed up like to vote. Like they were just like, yeah, this is hilarious, this is great. When do we go? But what happens is that this was the first outsider candidate that runs for elected office in Austin, which really does kick off this tradition. There's been so many, Max Knopfsinger, who was a flower salesman, he becomes city council member. Crazy Carl keeps running. I'm sure you've heard of Leslie when Leslie ran for mayor. Kinky Friedman runs for governor. Okay, all starts with Oat Willie, campaign headquarters. I think I'm giving away the film. That was like half the film. Armadillo, oh my God, Armadillo World Headquarters, of course, this is huge in the history of Austin and how it sets up the music scene here and creates a place that just for people to play and get seen from around the world. But armadillos, the thing that we tracked down is where does this whole armadillo thing come from? We tracked it down to this one poster that Jim Franklin drew. He drew it for a love-in in the 60s, and it's got an armadillo on it. Not like some Mickey Mouse caricature. That's my Jim Franklin. That was terrible. So it's an armadillo, and then he put a joint in the armadillo's mouth. And then in that poster, in that moment, hippies and armadillos like became one and then entered the zeitgeist. And that's where it all comes down from. And then, oh my God, peyote. Jesus. I had no idea the amount or the role that psychedelics played in the formation of our collective culture here in Austin. I mean, anyone microdosing? How many? Show of hands? Yeah. Thank you for that, by the way. I appreciate it. No, it all comes back to these guys. Like I said, we created mescaline. Then there was this huge, fascinating hippie highway where our mescaline was going up to San Francisco and then trading for acid, and then the LSD is coming back into Austin. And then it really was a cultural highway that was going on. It wasn't just drugs. There was a ton of music, poster artists, writers back and forth. That was a really strong part of our history. And so these are the guys. I also just wanted to, I guess the idea of this site, this little destination, is that once you start hearing these stories, watching the films, reading about it, and hopefully getting lost and going off into the web and finding other Reddit subreddits about obscure Austin lore, you really get a sense of what was happening back in the 70s in Austin, and you really get a sense of these creative characters not living on the East Coast, not living on the West Coast. They had all this space out there just to sort of create, follow their muse, and ultimately they ended up creating something that was bigger than the sum of their parts. I mean, they really created a groover's paradise here in Austin for themselves. And that is what made Austin cool then, and that's what makes Austin still cool today. I mean, it's like it all took place then. That's why this is the first time I've been south of the river in 3 years. There's still traffic or the back we have no water, property taxes. You got these guys to thanks for that. They made it a destination. One other thing I want to say too about them is that these guys, that's Rick, Carrie, and Tommy in the center, they're working artists today. Let me be more clear. They're available for hire. They need the work. And Jim Franklin, who's not here, but he's a big part of it. These guys are still working on literally living month to month. They had to leave Austin decades ago just because they couldn't afford it to live here. But they're still definitely a part of it, and they're definitely, they're available. If you got a mural project, you got something at your office, get them to do it. And then this guy that we heard talk about Salvation Sandwiches, Michael Kleiman, he is just a freaking, as you can tell, a force of nature. He owns Planet K. And he has that whole empire. Make sense? Yeah, you're connecting the dots so quickly. So he created Planet K, and what's awesome about him and what he's done is he is a huge supporter of all these artists. And then he's also he gave us the seed money that we needed to make this project happen. So I can't emphasize enough, when it's time to go buy your gifts, go to Planet K. It's not just bongs and dildos. I swear there's a ton more stuff there. I guarantee it. It's a great place for a gift. No, support. So if you really do support someone like Planet K, I guarantee that is you're keeping it local, and that money is going right back into supporting original Austin. So shout out to Planet K. Very funny. Covered all the weed shops. And okay, oh yeah, here's the guys when they were painting the original. That's Carrie and that's Tommy, back in the day, 1973. And then I just want to end with one more little video. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, this is just a short little one. And again, I think what's been great about this project for us, again, creatively, like we're talking about, is that we can kind of do it on our own terms. So like when we see a story, we can just sort of tell that own story in its own little way. And this is just a really, really nice moment that Alan Pogue, Austin's premier photographer, been doing it for 50 years, capturing everything. He captured a moment and we made a little short about it. Let's watch this.
I have a series of photos over by the art department at the University of Texas where Roland Denoy, in the rain, he's selling his sandwiches from the cart there, and a young woman who really was a dancer at the University of Texas came by and said she was hungry, she needed a sandwich, she didn't have any money. Could she dance for a sandwich? And so Roland said, of course, you know. And then at the very end, she goes over to Roland, and in a flamboyant gesture, she puts out her hand, and an equally flamboyant gesture, he hands her the sandwich for her dance. Austin, it was pure Austin.
go. Yeah, thanks. And if that's not treasure, what is? There you go. That's it, yeah. Oh. Phones up, people. Let's get these phones out. Let's see if this works. This is a link to the website. I would love for you to spend time on it, and I'd love for you to share it and send it to someone and tell them, and so you can show them why our city is better than theirs. Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks. 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 Thanks, Brian.
All right.